Failed and disgraced former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly lost his mind over minorities after the Highland Park shooting on Monday. You have to see this video clip. Let me set up what's going on with Bill O'Reilly, who, by the way, seems even more unhinged than I remember him when he was on his Fox News show. The governor of Illinois, Pritzker, held a press conference after the shooting. And one of the things that Bill O'Reilly took from that is Democrats and the left only care about these types of shootings because the perpetrators aren't minorities. But when you look at gang violence, drug crime violence, etc., it's minorities. And so Democrats don't want to talk about it. Now, the funny thing about this, as we look at the clip, is in saying this, Bill O'Reilly's reasoning is completely flawed, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But he's sort of admitting the mass shooters are almost exclusively young white men, right? I mean, he's basically saying the demographics of the gang violence don't interest Democrats. By definition, he's saying the demographics of the mass shooters are different. And we know that they are. It's mostly young white men in the United States. OK, so here's Bill O'Reilly completely losing his mind, saying Democrats don't want to deal with shootings when it's minorities doing the shooting. O'Reilly at his most disheveled and unhinged.
You, JB, are not going to stop loons, and you won't stop crime, drug gangs, because they're minority gangs. That's why you won't stop them. You phony. You aid and abet this murder in Chicago every blanking day.
By the way, again, it was not in Chicago. They love to do the Chicago thing because they believe Chicago puts the image in your mind, again, of gang violence or whatever. This was in a swanky suburb.
You! Don't be sanctimonious with me.
So O'Reilly having a normal one. This is a real get off my lawn moment. And I've spoken about this so many times. Preventing individual single shootings when specific people are being targeted, like you see in gang violence, is, number one, most importantly, completely different animal than what we're talking about with mass shootings in terms of its causes and in terms of solutions and prevention. And number two, it is really difficult to prevent individual violence, even in some cases when you eliminate the guns, although you do sort of dissuade people, you make them have to maybe use a more personal tool like a knife or whatever. It doesn't mean we don't try. So let's just think it through. And again, when we talk about deaths at the hands of guns, we have three categories that we're concerned with, and these are in no particular order. You have gun suicides. You have sort of individual gun homicides, which includes disgruntled spouses. It includes, hitmen. It includes gang violence, drug deals gone wrong, that type of thing. And then you've got your mass shooters. These are three different things. The causes are different. The potential solutions are different. They're just different things. Consider if a disgruntled psychopathic ex-spouse wants to kill his girlfriend, and I say his girlfriend or his ex-wife because it's almost always a man doing it. It's just the way it is. The type of policy we're talking about on mass shootings is mostly not going to do that. Now, if you make it really difficult to even get a handgun, the disgruntled ex-spouse will say, well, I'm going to do it with a knife, or I'm going to do it with a baseball bat or whatever. It's more personal and up close, so they may not do it, but it is a different type of thing. When a gang member says, I've been disrespected by this person and I've now got to get back at them, limiting rifles so that they end up with a handgun, or even in some cases limiting if they're determined to go after a particular individual, they're going to do it to some degree. Maybe they won't kill them. Separately, here we're talking about mass shootings where you need certain tools and certain provisions to dissuade. You make guns harder to get, or at least you make the deadlier guns harder to get. Well, then this particular shooter might have killed fewer people. That would be good. We want 0 people killed, but killing 1 instead of 7 is better. Injuring 1 instead of dozens is better. You make the ammunition really expensive. Well, maybe he wouldn't have had as many bullets, would have reduced the lethality of it. You put an age limit on rifles. Well, he might have been relegated to a handgun. The number of people he'll kill with a handgun from a rooftop is probably a lower number than what he was able to do. It's just different. And so Bill O'Reilly's saying, you just don't want to go after black people who commit crime. That's what O'Reilly's saying. And it's absurd. And these are different types of incidents. And we should deal with all of them. But the way you reduce gun violence has components that are very different when it comes to, the way you reduce gang gun violence has elements that are very different than when we talk about these typical mass shootings. And so we don't say one is a bigger or smaller problem or whatever. We say we want to deal with multiple problems. The fact that treating a damaged knee is done differently than cancer doesn't mean we ignore either. It just means we take different approaches. That's all that we're saying. And O'Reilly, I mean, look at this guy. Completely out of his gourd. Has lost it. All right. Let me know your thoughts. Find me on Twitter at dpacman. We'll take a quick break and be back with so much more. All of us have had the experience of dropping out of an important Zoom call because of a flaky Wi-Fi connection. I've had it when live streaming. If you can think of something more humiliating, let me know. Something else I struggle with is when I'm on the go, finding a good enough connection to upload or download large video files, which I regularly need to do. What if you could fix all of this by using more than one internet connection at the same time, like the coffee shop Wi-Fi and your mobile phone's connection, combining them into one super internet connection that's faster and more reliable? Our sponsor, Speedify, is the only app that can combine multiple internet sources into one fantastic super connection like this. This will improve your live streaming, your video calling, your gaming, the web browsing, everything you do online. Use Speedify on all devices, PC, Mac, iPhone, Android, Linux. Works with any type of internet connection. Simple to use, runs in the background. I use it everywhere, especially when traveling, and it works great. Try Speedify risk-free for 7 days and get 20% off. Go to speedify.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. Click the link down in the description.